Good morning, traders. Today is Monday, March 14th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. Welcome, welcome. All right, well, the market just opened. Sorry, I was a bit late getting started this morning, but essentially, we're opening inside of the spike down from yesterday. So that is sort of a neutral to bearish signal to be opening in the spike. So I am looking for resistance this morning, right around the base of that spike, which is 42.19. You can also see they spent a lot of time rotating around there in the overnight. So, well, there you go. We're immediately going to push up and test it. I'm looking to see, do we get some resistance in here? If we do, and we can't get back above the base of that spike down, I'd be looking for continuation lower from there. So that would be shortable, selling the resistance in there. And then pretty much just monitor for continuation to the downside. So like, once we get that resistance, we start to work our way down towards yesterday or Friday's low. And then do we find support there? If not, monitor for further downside continuation. To me, that seems like the higher probability play this morning because of that spike down that we had at the end of the day on Friday, and the fact that we're opening inside of it, that is bearish. And then, of course, if we just look at the larger, the daily chart here, we can see we are clearly in a bearish pattern, right? So if they start to get below yesterday's low, I would look for continuation to the downside. But if they can get above this area, if they can get above the base of that spike and start to work their way back up into yesterday's range, I would be targeting the weak references that we left behind above at 42.65. Okay, we got multiple weak references here that are in need of repair. So if the market is able to work its way back up above that level right there, the 42.19 level, and then come back down and find support, that to me is a good long trade for continuation to the upside to repair those weak references. So while it's kind of chopping around here inside the spike, there's no clear trades in my opinion. We either got to break yesterday's low, in which case we look for continuation to the downside, or we got to break above the spike from yesterday and then come back down and find support, where I look for continuation to the upside. Otherwise, we're likely just going to be bouncing around in here. So let's see what they got for us. Let the chop begin. So obviously we opened and immediately pushed higher, so we would expect to have a little more two-sided trade to the downside. Plus we've bad taper at the low, so we're probably going to need to head back down there. Put in some more trade. The overnight inventory was a little bit net long, but not much, right? Only from there to there. So that's not really something to pay too much attention to. We can assume we're going into the morning this morning neutral in terms of needing to have a counter auction. So that tells us whatever business is being done first thing in the morning here is likely good business for continuation in whichever direction it goes. Meaning it's new people choosing to push it that direction. Okay, we got good taper on the high. Doesn't mean it'll be the high of the day, but it just slightly increases the odds. I don't love the 76 contracts, but it is good taper otherwise. So just to walk through what we have so far, we had a spike down on Friday, which is bearish. We opened inside the spike, which is neutral to bearish. We came in flat on overnight activity, and now we are getting more sellers than buyers, which is bearish. We made good taper on the high, which is only barely slightly bearish. No big deal, but it is one more little signal. So we're starting to stack up bearish signals here. If yesterday or Friday's low breaks, look for continuation to the downside. All right, we appear to be getting some buyers around yesterday's low. Expect to get some resistance here at the halfback, 42.02. And that little node just above it, 42.04. Some resistance there for another push lower. Diego, good morning. Chris Yee, good to see you. TV back with us. Hi, hi. David Glass in the house. Good morning. Jeremy Jones, good to see you. Welcome. Joe Summer, welcome to you. Good to have you. Philip is here. Good morning. Novice Trader, good morning. First day. Heard about this channel over the weekend and listened to a couple of recordings. Really nice. Educational. Well, you're welcome, brother. All right. Well, we're starting to break yesterday's low. That's pretty bearish, right? So at this point, I am now bearish and looking for resistance to sell. Likely to find it right around this node here where it just acted as resistance. We've also got the halfback right there. So 41.99-ish, looking for resistance. Dean, good morning to you. Welcome. Greg in the house. Good to see you. Alex is here. Happy Pi Day. Is that what that symbol is, pi? I don't even know. Two Man Ifs, good morning to you. Boss Man in the house, good morning. Ronald is here. Amir, good to see you. John in the house. Okay, so we're testing that resistance now around 97, 98. Looking for sellers to pile on there. We should see that by them being unable to get the ticks back above the zero line. Holding them below there is a sign that new sellers are piling on. Trading Mixed Talkster, good morning to you. Did you all roll over to the new contract? I rolled over last week. Design Knob, good morning to you. Robo Futures, good to see you. Welcome. Boss Man, looking bearish. Yeah, but I think about it bearish like a mean, evil, rip your face off bear. That's like a cute little cartoon bear. That's like a bear you want to pet at the zoo. Do they have that? Do they have petting zoos for bears? Probably not. All right, looking for resistance here around the halfback. Do the sellers pile on? Yes, sir. Resistance. Let's take a look at the NQ. Seems to be a little more bullish today. They had a gap down on the NQ, which was bearish, but they filled that gap. So now we're looking for resistance on the NQ in this node right here between like 13,345 and 13,381. All right, well, I'm no longer bearish now that we got back above halfback. Back to neutral. Jesus. Gotta love some volatility. So now what we can learn from the ticks as we watch the ticks from here is they got themselves back above the zero line. So that's slightly bullish to see. Can they keep themselves above it? Can we start to put in ticks that look like this? If not, the momentum is still to the downside, right? The stronger trend is still bearish. So if they can't start to trend these ticks higher, then the market is likely to head back down to those lows. Caffeine, good morning to you. Dean says 41.84. Was that your target to the downside? FRM, good morning to you. Arthur, good to see you. Welcome. J Trader smashed the like. Thank you, brother. As for the rest of you, what's stopping you? There's that thumbs up. It's just calling your name. It's like, please push me. Push the thumbs up. Boy, did you guys see that? Somebody just got in big with a market short. Two Manifs, seems like the bears are trapped. Oh, I think it's way too early to make that call. Nah, we're still inside the spike from Friday. The bears are doing just fine. FRM looks like a balance, 4,200. What do you see, Charles? Yeah, it's in a balance. It's just hard to kind of, I can't like draw it. You know what I mean? Last week I would have drawn it as a channel. I would have said that's the balance. But we broke out of that and as of yet have not gotten any real downside continuation. But it's not a horizontal balance. So the market is, of course, balancing. If you look at it on the daily, it's just hard to kind of draw where the parameters of it are. But yeah, you can see the market is balancing in here. Okay, so what did I say about the ticks, right? If we were going to push higher, we need to start building momentum in these ticks. We're not getting it yet. We're just dancing around that 0 line. So it's indecision at the moment, but slightly more bearish. Two minutes. It seems like the bears are trapped from the bottom. Oh, you mean today? Oh, yeah. They got squeezed. As soon as we popped above halfback, you saw it. It was instant. It was like, boop, short squeeze. Arthur pushed the thumbs up. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Dean, try refreshing your stream. I shouldn't be. Arthur, what does short squeeze mean? Basically, just imagine if you were waiting to break that low and then you instantly got short down here. You were one of the sellers in here. You didn't have the patience to wait for the market to come back to resistance. Well, then you immediately got stuck. It pushed back up into that resistance, but then when it broke that resistance, you were like, oh no, I'm screwed. And so what do you do if you're short the market and you realize you're screwed? You exit your trade, which is the same as going long. It's upward pressure. So that causes the market to pop higher. But then once that old business is taken out of the market, we're looking for new buyers, right? Not buyers who are just getting squeezed out of their shorts, but people who want to go long. And that's why we're watching the ticks. If they can't get the ticks back above the zero line, we know there's nobody new going long here. It's just people that were already short getting out of those longs. Speaking of which, they're trying to get back above that zero line. This is, by the way, just classic resistance. This is what it looks like. They're pushing right into these nodes from the overnight where we spent a lot of time and put in a lot of volume, and they're instantly falling off on the volume and the amount of time we spend right there. So that's a sign that there are no new buyers trying to buy up this market. We're running out of them in the same place we ran out of them in the overnight. Arthur, the shorts lost their shorts. Yeah, that's it basically. Uh, all right, well, that's new buyers. So we're looking to now test the base of that spike down, 42.19. Should be some resistance waiting up there. So again, we got resistance around the base of that spike from yesterday, 42.19 above us. And then we've also got the 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles above the market on both indices. That too could act as resistance. Remember, right now, short-term intraday, we're getting some new buyers, but the bigger momentum is still to the downside. So until they get above the base of that spike, come back down and find support, this is not buyable, in my opinion. The support is buyable, but not this momentum right now. Greg H., what price do you consider the base top of the spike? Yeah, so great that you bring up the word top. I decided Jim Dalton would have called this the top of the spike. I call it always a base of a spike just because I found it kind of confusing for people. If one day I'm calling it a base of a spike and the next I'm calling it a top of a spike. So I just always refer to the first tick that starts the spike as the base, and then I differentiate whether it's a spike up or a spike down. That's just to kind of simplify things a little bit. But as far as where it starts, it's the first single print below the K period. So any push higher or lower within the last hour, that is where the spike starts. And it's not, in my book, officially a spike unless we close inside of it. So if on Friday we'd pushed all the way down to here, but then we pulled back up and we closed up here, there would have been no spike. So it's only a spike if you break the K period high or low and then close, below if you break the low or above if you break the high. And for those of you that are newer to the channel and are wondering, what do you mean by spike? What does this have to do with anything? A lot of times the market will make a move at the very end of a day in the last hour to a new location, right? Like Friday is a perfect example. It was rotating around. Actually, it was kind of pushing lower, but it was rotating around inside of this range. And then in the very last hour of the day, we broke and went much lower. This is very, very common. It happens all the time, probably a couple days a week. And when you get a spike, that often gives you a sign that on Friday, somebody, who knows who, somebody had an idea that moving forward, the market is going to go lower. So it just kind of increases the odds that the market is going to get continuation in that direction. And that idea, that principle is wrong if the market can get above it and then come back down and find support. Then this was just intraday traders at the very end of the day making a bet that pushed the market lower. No big deal. But if we stay down here in the spike, as we are right now, that is bearish that those traders that went short at the end of the day, yesterday, or in this case on Friday, they were right that the market is moving in a new direction. So you want to go with the direction of a spike if they can't get back above it. Two minutes? Is it a sensitive topic? It's sensitive in the way that I don't want to start an argument in the chat. Best to avoid it. Design knob, selling seems weaker than buying to me. Huh. I feel like it's two-sided trade. I feel like they're making bets right now. I don't feel like either side is quite taken control yet. So this area right now where we're getting resistance just below the base of that spike down, that's going to be the area we're going to look for support if we're able to break through. If we can get up into here, come back down, this will be the area we're looking for support now. But at the moment, it's still resistance. Okay, yeah, we're setting ourselves up nicely here. We got these low volume nodes. So after a push higher, they need to come back and backfill these, and we're looking for support right there. We were also able to push through the 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles. That's a little bit bullish to see. Scooball, hello. I love that you and Europe changed time at the other days. What a stupid idea. Do you mean daylight savings time? Yeah, everybody thinks it's stupid. Does I not see the millions be on Luna crypto? No. I've never even heard of Luna crypto. I'm so out of that scene these days. You mean Luna coin? Looks pretty shit to me. All right, so now we're looking to backfill these single prints, as I pointed out before, the level with only 66 contracts and 63. We like to see at least 200 contracts inside of here, inside the day's range. So that just increased the odds a little bit. We need to come back in here and backfill. And of course, there's support right below. So this is the moment where we find out whether the buyers are stepping in for continuation to the upside once they backfill this node. And of course, if the buyers do step in, that'll get me bullish. Hmm. Well, it's a little bit bullish that they're buying above these nodes. I still think we need to pull back down and backfill them, but this is a sign of buyers. So things are starting to get a little bullish here. John Q, is there an official Discord server for the NQ? Do you mean for the actual Nasdaq? I doubt it. Could be. I follow them on Instagram. If they've got an Instagram, they must have a Discord. So again, in a when what should happens doesn't, we only came in and backfilled one of those two nodes that needed backfilling. So that's just another sign that there are buyers desperate to buy up these contracts today, which is bullish. Oh, he's asking if I have an N. Yeah, yeah. There's a group in the Discord, on the Pirate Trader Discord, for NQ. All right. Well, I'm bullish. That when what should happen is a big one. They should have backfilled those single prints. So there are new buyers entering this market. Next resistance above around 42.32. Yeah, boss man, I'm not saying anything. Nothing's changed. Like I said, getting above the base of that spike down is bullish. Pulling back down and finding support is bullish. So now I'm just looking for, support to buy. There's not much beyond that. Oh, actually, I just noticed as we print the C period, we've also now left a set of single prints behind in the B period. So that increases the odds a little bit. We need to pull down to here, looking for support at 42.1450. All right, and with that, I'm going to switch on over to the private stream for Brigade members only. If you're in the Brigade, head on over and I shall see you there. For the rest of you, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. As far as, where I would leave you with this morning, I mean, it's a mixed bag right now, right? Value is lower, which is, bearish. But we found support this morning, got new buyers, got above the base of that spike. So that is bullish. So we're kind of in like a no man's land here. But I would say it's, they're building support with the buyers. The ticks are slowly working their way higher. So I think they want to try to at least test this node where the POC was from yesterday, 42.34-ish, or actually 36-ish, to the upside. But other than that, I'd just take your trades, as I talked about on Friday, quick trades. Don't fall in love with it. Take your profits, look to re-enter rather than just sitting in a trade for too long, because this has a very uncertain vibe to it. But I'm more bullish than bearish. All right. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, novice trader, I do it till the end of the day. Till the market close.